Drama at the Oscars!
Bang!
Drama on Facebook for Big Mac Danskull.
Bang!
Big Mac Danskull's best face he's ever painted.
Bang!
And anything else that pops into my head.
Bang!
Big Mac Danskull rides again. Whoa.
How you doing, guys? Big Mac Danskull here today, back with another episode of Trukkin with the Big Mac for you. This one is going on YouTube. Oh, why is that, Big Mac Danskull? Because I'm not actually streaming tonight, and probably not on Wednesday night either. So I'm recording this on Monday. I have decided to take a week off streaming because there's a few things I've got to do. One of them is involving my mortgage. I've got to get myself a new mortgage, and I really need to do it. I've sort of left it too late, really. Not too late, you know, I've left it as late as I can leave it. So I'm going to sort my mortgage out tonight. Well, hopefully tonight, as long as I get my arse in gear, and then go from there. See how I get on with being an adult. Yes, so a few things that I'm going to be talking about today. Number one is, and if you don't know, this is, like I said, this is going up on YouTube. Ordinarily, this content would be on my Patreon, Trukkin with the Big Mac. It's just like a life update / hobby update show. So sometimes I'll talk more about life, sometimes I'll talk more about hobby stuff. And yeah, so the things I'm going to talk about today are drama at the Oscars, drama on Facebook for Big Mac Danskull, Big Mac Danskull's best face he's ever painted, and anything else that pops into my head. I normally get this. Wow, that's really forked, that beard, isn't it? Don't swear on YouTube. I didn't swear then. Yeah, my beard, it always forks my beard, especially when I start talking. It's like, it's just like separates. It's like a little mouth of its own. So it appears I'm talking about my beard now. Yeah, so let's talk about drama at the Oscars and the whole Will Smith thing. Now, I can see, as well as anybody else can, that wasn't a real slap. So let's get that out of the way. That's pretty much as much now. It looks to me like a stage slap that's happened at the Oscars, where Will Smith has slapped Chris Rock, and the angle to show it from is the best angle to show it from to make it look the most convincing, and it still doesn't look very convincing in my opinion. It just looks like Chris Rock's moving out the way as the slap's coming in. So I'm not really sure why so many media outlets are running with it as a massive story and a massive controversy when it's not real. One thing I will say though is Chris Rock's reaction and Will Smith's reaction and apology were very convincing. You know, they were some of the best acting I've ever seen them two do. So anyway, yeah, moving on from that, drama on Facebook for Big Mac Danskull. Yeah, so the other night, I'll set the scene for you. The other night I'm at my mate's house. I'm waiting for her to get ready to go to the cinema. There's a load of kids in the room with me. They're climbing all over me. Some of them brushing my beard and stuff like that. I'm quite distracted, and then I get a moment of freedom. So like I move over to another seat, and I think while I'm waiting for mate, I'll kill some time. I'll clear some Facebook notifications. I had 10 notifications on Facebook. Got rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th notification was a friend request from someone I didn't expect a friend request from. And I was like, oh right, wow, okay, yeah, I'll accept. So I pressed accept, and then I realised that it said, rather than like, you know, message, which I think it normally says after you accept a friend request from someone, it said request sent. I was like, what? And then I reread the notification, and it was actually a notification saying new friend suggestion, and I'd pressed send friend, I'd pressed friend request friend. And it's like, oh my god, what have I done? They're gonna think I'm weird. Oh, I don't even know them, and I'm adding them as a friend on Facebook, which people do with me sometimes, because my YouTube name Big Mac Dance School has my actual name in it as well, in brackets after the thing. So people send me friend requests all the time on Facebook, and I personally, I try and keep my Facebook friend groups down so I don't accept all those requests. It's not because I don't like the people that are sending the requests or anything like that. So I don't want you to think if I reject one of your friend requests that I don't like you. It's just because I like to keep my friends to a minimum. I like to keep the stuff I'm seeing on Facebook to a minimum, really. To people that I'm actually sort of real life friends with, or I've interacted more than just in the comments section, or you know, that kind of thing. It's just the way I am. I decided to set that boundary one day, and I try and keep non real life friends down to a minimum on Facebook. Yeah, so I sent this person a friend request, panicked, like, oh no, they're gonna think I'm a weirdo. What am I gonna do now? Let's get my sunnies out. I saw a TikTok the other day about, let's go off on a tangent, why not? I saw a TikTok the other day about blue-eyed people not being able to go out in the daylight, and driving in the summer is a real problem for me. I've got blue eyes, in case you haven't seen. Driving in the summer is a real problem for me, or even in the winter when there's loads of like white clouds, because I'm always squinting like that, so I have to wear sunglasses even when it's not that sunny. Yeah, it's difficult being a blue-eyed person sometimes. Yeah, back to the whole Facebook drama thing. Yeah, so I sent them a friend request, then I panicked. I'm like, they're gonna think I'm a weirdo. Deleted the request, and then I thought, oh my god, what have I just done? They're gonna get a notification saying that I've sent them a friend request, and then there's no friend request there, so they'll think I'm even weirder. It's like, oh no. So I panicked, and it's someone Orky knows. I messaged Orky, and I, yeah, just in a state of like panic. But then like quickly afterwards, I was just laughing at myself, and I was driving home from my mate's house after the next morning, and I was just like laughing to myself about the whole situation. It's just funny what not properly reading something can do to you sometimes. You can either take something the wrong way, or you can misunderstand what is in front of you and react in a way that you didn't intend to react. So yeah, it was funny, the whole drama on Facebook thing. I enjoyed it anyway. Yeah, so then on to the best face I've ever painted. And look at these shades, man. How cool do I look at these shades? What's a plonker? Yeah, the best face I've ever painted. So at weekend, I was on stream with Eldritch Architect, who was doing a 24-hour live stream to raise money in order to aid the British Red Cross and Operation Ukraine, and all the humanitarian crisis that's going on over there. And they did really well, raised over £500, so that's absolutely fantastic. And I was painting a miniature that I hadn't really had any intention of painting. I was gonna paint a Yandan Wraith Lord or Wraith Guard unit or something like that, because I wanted to paint something in the colours of the Ukrainian flag, so yellow and blue. But I just couldn't decide, couldn't settle on what I wanted to paint. And then I thought to myself, oh actually, the Palanite Enforcers from Necromunda, which I've got one of the box sets of with a bit of terrain in, the Corpse Grinder Cult and the Palanite Enforcers, and the other variations of the Palanites, the Arbites effectively is what they used to be known as. They're like the security forces of Necromunda, or the police force effectively. But yeah, so I decided, I looked on the pictures of them on their website, and so they're kind of blue and yellow, aren't they? And I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to do them in blue and yellow, like quite a vibrant blue and yellow, whereas they're like a greyish blue, or a bluish grey really, and the yellow on the GW artwork form. So I painted that on the stream, painted up most of the model on stream, and then the face I did a little bit on after stream when LD was on by herself for a bit, and then Orky came on, and I did a bit of painting of the face. Basically, in the 2 hours that Orky was on, I was watching Orky and LD and on one screen, and I was watching the Warhammer, the Citadel Masterclass video on painting light-skinned faces on the other screen. It's one of the great things about being a streamer. You get to, not everyone does it, but you have 2 screens, so you can watch 2 things at once if you want to, or you can leave like one thing playing, you know, that kind of thing. But I wouldn't do that if I wasn't a streamer. That's why I say it's one of the great things about being a streamer. You can do it without being a streamer, and not every streamer does it. But yeah, having multiple screens is a big advantage when it comes to watching more than one content creator at once. You know, watching a TV program and a stream at once. Yeah, so the face, I'll put a image up here of it. This is the face I painted, and yeah, it was triggered. My desire to paint this face and paint it to the best of my ability and push myself a little bit more was triggered by the fact that recently Orky's painted up a Horus commission for me, and she did an amazing job on the face. It looks absolutely fantastic, and she'd watched that Citadel Masterclass video, and it's a really simple to follow guide, but it's simple to follow, but it talks you through the reasons, and that's the kind of explanation I really appreciate. One that talks you through the reasons of painting it the way you paint it to make it look more realistic. And now mine doesn't look as realistic as the ones in the Citadel Masterclass video, nor does it look as realistic as Orky's Horus face that she painted, but it's at my level of painting and my standard, I'm really happy with it. One of the things though, one of the pupils has gone for a little wander, so it's, yeah, it's a slightly squiffy-eyed arbites that I've done. Well, the face I painted was really satisfying with. I might add a bit of stubble, and I think I'm going to do the hair dark. I may well do the hair ginger actually. We'll see how I feel. Like a strawberry blonde perhaps. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, that's the face I painted. I'm really happy with it. The best face I painted before that was on a miniature that I've not actually finished yet, on Watch Captain Artemis miniature from the Deathwatch range when they first relaunched the Deathwatch range a few years back. And that was probably my favourite face I painted before that, favourite human face anyway. Yeah, so I was really surprised how I managed to get the whites of the eyes in place. I mixed a little bit of white scar with grey sear because I didn't want it bright white, and on the tutorial video Louise Sugden she didn't use white scar, she used Corax white, which is a bit more like an off-white. So I figured I'd just tone down that white scar a little bit because I didn't want it to look too bright. So I know white scar is a very harsh white when you get it right. At one stage I picked up the titanium white Dana Brownie ink that I've got, and I thought, yeah, I'll just use that, and then I thought, no, it's going to be way too bright, isn't it? So what I ended up doing was mixing a little bit of white scar with essentially a really light grey, which is one of the paints that GW recommend you paint contrast paints on top of. Yeah, so grey sear it was that I mixed with white scar, and I'm really happy with the eyes. Well, the colour of the eyes anyway, and then little tiny dots of pupils that I'm pretty happy with. I'm not ecstatic with, but yeah, you get a lot of heat in painting faces. I mean, you can look at my face now. You get like an almost neutral on top typically, then you get a lot of heat in the cheeks and around the eyes, and then it's the shadowed areas are actually cooler. That's what Louise was talking about in the video, so you can't really see too much of it on my face, but the shadowed areas down here, instead of, to try and make them look more natural, instead of painting them darker, you paint them cooler, which is to say, like, you add like you either get a paint that's a cooler version of the one you used for this part, or and this part, or you add a little like bluish little bit of a bluish tone into that. So I didn't follow the masterclass video step by step. I didn't use the same paints as in the masterclass video. What I actually did was I painted the face in Wraithbone first. So I painted the face in Wraithbone, and then I painted up here with Guilliman Flesh, and down to like here with Guilliman Flesh as well. Is that what I did? Yeah, so I painted like the upper third of the face, Guilliman Flesh, and I painted the eyes, Guilliman Flesh, and then I painted the bottom in Dark Oath Flesh, which is a bit more of it's a bit of a cooler skin tone. And then I added in here, because Guilliman Flesh is quite a reddish skin tone, whereas Dark Oath Flesh is like a browner, almost greyish, but not really, it's like a greyish brown skin tone. So it doesn't make your minis look grey. It's a really good way of doing like a Mediterranean type flesh. It's like a slightly tanned flesh, but it's got less red in it than the Guilliman Flesh. So that's why I chose that as the cooler paint to do on the bottom here, on the bottom portion. Yeah, it wasn't warm enough there for me. I thought I'd do a couple of layers of Guilliman Flesh there and it'd be warm enough, but it wasn't. So what I did, I watered down some Blood Angels red. Watered down some Blood Angels red, and just used it as like a glaze over the middle area here, just to create a little bit more heat in the sort of cheeks and around the eyes. And then I got Gorgrunter Fur and used that as a wash around the eye, like where the pupils are going to go and stuff, to sort of tone down that heat again, and sort of act as almost like a eyeliner to pick out the eyes, so that when I put the white in, it made the eyes pop that little bit more. But it was like an off-white, like I said. And then, yeah, really happy with the results I got. And I have to say, Citadel Masterclass videos, I think personally, one of them a week is, so for a month essentially, is worth the fee of Warhammer Plus. If you're looking to up your painting game step by step, and once you've got a back catalogue as well, it's definitely worth it, because they're the type of videos that I understand, and I can really learn from. I didn't actually intend to come in here, I was going to drive straight back, but I'll come in here anyway. Yeah, so the type of videos that I understand, and I really appreciate the fact that they explain to you why they're doing something, in order to hopefully help you understand why they're doing it, and why you should do it too, to make it the best painting tutorial that they can give you. Yeah, so Citadel Masterclass videos I think are worth the admission fee into Warhammer Plus, or the subscription fee to Warhammer Plus, in and of themselves. And then you get things like Hammer and Bolter and all that stuff, and they just like add to the value of it for me. If you're just looking for entertainment, Warhammer Plus isn't necessarily where you should be looking. I'd say go and get Netflix. You know, if you're choosing between Warhammer Plus and Netflix and you're looking for entertainment, there's no competition. It's obvious you're gonna have to go to Netflix, or, you know, Prime, or whatever your streaming service, preferred streaming service is, Apple TV or whatever. There's plenty of them out there. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the value of Warhammer Plus. If you are looking to up your painting game, and whilst it's not tuition, it's not like tailored tuition, it's really good tuition. They talk you through the reasons to do things, and that's what I really appreciate. In previous jobs and stuff, I've often asked questions like, why do we cash up this way? Why do we do this that way? Why do we mark off the goods that way? That kind of thing. And not everybody can explain to you why, but if you can explain to me why we do it that way, I'll understand, you know, I'll understand the reasoning behind it, and I'll understand why I shouldn't do it the way I think might be a better way. So if you can explain to me, and that's what I really appreciate about Warhammer Plus, they explain to you why they're doing things. It makes a lot of sense in my mind to do that for someone with a brain like mine anyway. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been up to at weekend. I went to the cinema, like I said, on Saturday night, when after the Facebook drama rather. went to the cinema and I saw Uma. I wouldn't recommend it. It's the Korean word for mother, Uma. Uma. The reason I say it like that is because that's how one of the characters in Kim's Convenience says it. Uma, Appa. Yeah, it's a Korean word for mother, and it's like a thriller, horror sort of film, but it's not scary and not that thrilling. It was okay. It's the kind of film that if you stumbled across late at night when you're in bed and you can't sleep, you'd leave on and you'd think it was all right, and it was, you know, a decent way to waste an hour and a half. It wasn't quite an hour and a half long, but decent way to waste, you know, 90 minutes ish. But yeah, watching it actually in the cinema and paying for the cinema and stuff, because it wasn't the regular cinema I go to where I have a card that allows you to go as many times as you want without paying. Well, you pay like once a month a fee. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend going to see it at the cinema. It had Sandra Owen and what's the girl's name? I can't remember the girl's name. She's in Atypical on Netflix, as she plays the daughter, and yeah, it wasn't amazing. I'm not going to give you a synopsis. You can have a look for that on IMDb or wherever. But yeah, that's what I've been up to this weekend. This video is way longer than I intended it to be, so we'll call it a day there. Thank you very much for watching, and I do apologise that I can't stream this week, but I've got too much adult stuff to do. I will see you on... Don't forget, if you do want to see more content like this, before I go, don't forget, if you do want to see more content like this, you can do so by pledging to my Patreon. You might not think it's worth it. It's fine if you don't. It's absolutely fine. It's just a little bit of extra content, because I feel sometimes on Patreon I feel like I'm gypping people, so I feel it's better to put something on there extra than nothing. I'll leave it there for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the battlefield.